What did Beckett say? I can't go on. I'll go on. So even if I don't burn in your hearts and minds long after this speech is over, even if I don't inspire you to reach for the stars and beyond, even if I am erased from your memory after one glass of wine tonight, where am I going with this? I can't go on. I'll go on. You know, I won't speak of my time here like some old fisherman. You have already had your time here. You have your own story to tell. But I have to say, for me, it did start here, in Vermont, on a very rainy night. It was 1987, and I was a prospective student. The rain was coming down so hard, it was impossible to see that I was meeting the person who would later become my greatest friend and collaborator. A freshman who would, 17 years later, introduce me to the woman that became my wife. I'll call him Sherm, because I do. It was late at night on the road right there near Booth House. And despite the dark night and the heavy rain, this place was so alive. The lights pulsed from each of the dorms. Now, I was a kid from New Jersey who went to an all-boys Catholic high school. I was 4 foot something. I mumbled when I spoke. I wore a sort of woman's black velvet cape. Black tights, combat boots, and a scowl. But here at Bennington, I was home. And I have to say, it doesn't get better. Yeah. Just let me clarify. There are not shinier, more important people out there. Your fellow students, your friends, sitting around you are as good as it gets. 22 years after my own graduation, I have worked with my rainy night friend and fellow graduate, Sherm, on countless productions he has written, in all stages of development, from living rooms to off-Broadway. Brooks, Ian, Justin, Brett, John, Matthew, Jim, Sean, Hyla, Nikki, and the Bee are all classmates I shared my time with here and still work with, and am lucky to call my friends. Now, when I sat where you are, sitting right now, I had so many dreams of where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be, and what I wanted to do. Theater companies I wanted to start with classmates, movies I wanted to be in, directors I wanted to work with, stories I needed to tell. It might take a little time, I thought, but it would happen. When I sat there, 22 years ago, what I didn't want to think about is where I would be tomorrow. What I would have to start to do tomorrow. I was a Bennington graduate. I had to get a day job. I dusted pianos at a piano store on Ludlow Street for 5 months. I worked on the property of a Shakespeare scholar for a year, pulling weeds and removing bees' nests. I went on unemployment once, but not for long. I couldn't handle the guilt. Eventually, I was able to pay rent for a spot on the floor of an apartment on the Lower East Side, but my roommate had a breakdown and disappeared. He later resurfaced in a religious cult. I'm making this sound romantic. It really wasn't. I helped hang paintings at galleries, paintings that inspire you to think, I could do that. And then, finally, after 2 years of job and couch surfing, I got a job in application processing as a data enterer at a place called Professional Examination Services. And I stayed for 6 years. When I was 29, I told myself, the next acting job I get, no matter what it pays, I will, from now on, for better or worse, be a working actor. I didn't know that would happen. At 29, walking away from data processing, I was terrified. 10 years in a place without heat, 6 years at a job I felt stuck in. Maybe I was afraid of change. Are you? Raise the rest of your life to meet you. Don't search for defining moments because they will never come. The moments that define you have already happened, and they will already happen again. And it passes so quickly. So please bring each other along with you. Everyone you need is in this room. These are the shiny, more important people. Don't wait until they tell you you are ready. Get in there, sing, or quickly transfer to Bennington.